Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Namaste Bhakti Vedanta Swami Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Namaste Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswate Gauravani Prasadi Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Bhaktasya Vichakari Namaste Saraswate Gauravani Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Bhaktasya Vichakari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Go, Hari Go, Hari Go, Nitai Gaura Hari Go. Jai Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari. Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradha. Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradha. Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradha. Gopi Janavallabha Yashodanandana Swami, ISKCON Deputy Founder Acharya Guru Prabhupada ki Jai Vishwpada Paramhansa Vedavyasapriya Swami His Divine Vishnu Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Ananta ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai Grand Lord Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Radha Sri Asati Guru Bhakti ki Jai Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shyam Kanda Radha Kunda Devi ki Jai Brajan Vrindavan Dham ki Jai Nanak Ram ki Jai Jagannath Ram ki Jai Ganga Mai ki jai, Sarva Mai ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Krishna Maharani ki jai, Samavita Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Jai Gauru Govinda. All glories to Samavita.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Samavita.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Samavita.
Hare Krishna.
Tell Manisha.
Sure.
Om Gyanatimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmaritam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahim Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jatapadakamam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakam Tamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kancana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namaha Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadesatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Even in the last class, we discussed about Prahlad Maharaj, the 5-year-old boy praying to Lord Nrsimhadev about who will be able to give attention to the lotus feet of the Lord. How one can get intelligence to bow down to the Lord, think of Lord Krishna, who will get? Unless and until one takes the dust from the lotus feet of the sadhus who know Lord Shri Krishna, they can disseminate the knowledge of taking shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna. Otherwise, nobody can help. On your own, you cannot do. With the help of others, you cannot do. 7 exalted devotees. Devotees are called sadhu. So unless and until you take shelter of a sadhu, you will not get any inclination to worship the Supreme Personality, call it worship Krishna. Nate Vidhu Svatapati Vishnu. That was the first sloka. Then the second was that Matim na Krishna Swataha Paratoha Yathopi Patyeta Bhaktava. And the third sloka was Naisha Matim Tavat Purkrama. So these three slokas are spoken by Prahlad Maharaj while worshipping Lord Nrsimha. Prahlad was 5 years old, younger than Peter. Dhruv Maharaj was also younger than him, and he went for those two. And Narad Muni, in his childhood, also very young. So these 3 young boys were able to attain Lord Shri Krishna. They were eternal associates of Lord Krishna, you know. But still, as a devotee, they can go anywhere. You know, where Prahlad Maharaj was told, Prahlad, ask some benediction from me, Nrsimha Bhagavan said to him. What did Prahlad ask? Please liberate my father. Nrsimha Bhagavan, don't worry. You know, your father is not an enemy of me. He was my personal guard. So I sent him back to grant my Vaikuntha Vivaha. All right? But I want to give you something. And Prahlad always asks for somebody else, not for me. I don't need. My dear Lord, I do not need benediction because I am satisfied by performing devotional service. So what he was telling them, performing devotional service itself, the benediction of Lord Krishna, which is very rarely achieved. Everybody cannot become devotee in the whole world. Only few. And few can become by understanding from the realized soul, and it inspires them to become the devotee and eternally enjoy the pastimes with Lord. And Krishna is very fond of children. Nobody else has played with children like Krishna played. And they did not play this games of guns and other things. No. You know, you are watching little Krishna every day, right? And he can do with his bare hand. Today he killed that Keshi demon, remember? He came as a horse. Krishna, the little boy, even a little boy touch is so spiritually potent, very strong, can kill the biggest of the demons. So all these 3 children became perfect devotees of the Lord. So Prahlad Maharaj was asked, please tell me, I want to give you benediction. And Prahlad said, oh, it's like a mercantile business. You know, if a servant is serving the master for anticipation of some remuneration, means he wants some, salary, then he's not a servant. And a master who wants to give him a salary is not a master. A servant is a sold out servant, and master possesses him. And absolutely, there is no baniyagiri, no transaction between, like a mercantile. You pay for the service, then I work, otherwise I don't work. No, that is not the mentality. And a devotee is a sold out servant. My dear Lord, you keep me or throw me away. But I am, your unconditional devotee and serving eternal. Prahlad Maharaj didn't want to ask for himself. He knew. But he said, you are my servant. You have to obey your master. And master wants to give you, you cannot deny. So Prahlad Maharaj said, yes, I know. So what do you want? So Prahlad said, my dear Lord, if you want to grant me a benediction, then please allow me to remain between these asuras, the demons, so I can preach them your glories and send back to them to your lotus feet. That is the best benediction. And Prahlad Maharaj became the king of the demons. His father was the king of demons. But Prahlad also became king of demons. But both of them have different behavior, right? One is a devotee, another was a demon. So Prahlad Maharaj had a son. His name was Virochan. And a son did not become a devotee. Every father who is a devotee will anticipate his child to be a devotee. But Prahlad had to face the demoniac behavior, and his son was having the company of some other demons. So he had a demoniac behavior. And Prahlad didn't mind. Prahlad didn't mind. A devotee's son should be a devotee. No, there is no compulsion. Like a Brahmana's son cannot be Brahman all the time. The father was practicing Brahman. The activities of the Brahman, Brahma Karma Svabhavam. Tell me, Krishna is describing Shamaha, Damaha, Tapaha, Shaucham, Shanti Rajo, Nevacha, Jnana Vijnana Astikyam Brahma Karma Svabhavaja. Svabhavaja. A Brahman is supposed to be situated in mode of goodness, or most of the mode of goodness. There is no pure goodness in this material. It is always mixed with Rajagun and Tamagun. So, and in Kali Yuga, everybody is born in mode of ignorance. So, we are of Shudra quality. But regardless, a devotee can make transcending all the three castes or mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance, and become a pure devotee. So devotional service is beyond the ordinary work imposed by the three modes of material nature. So Krishna values that. He tells Arjuna, oh, you are a Kshatriya, you want to fight, but you can't use the Rajagun like that. You have to become free from Rajagun, free of the effects of the three modes. Traigunya Vishaya Veda Naistragunya Bhavaj. Krishna is advising. And all the subject of the Vedic literature is filled with three modes of material nature. But I want you to become free from the effect of the three modes. Means you act as a devotee. Perform all your activities as a devotee, which is geared for pleasing me. Execute your work just to please me. If you cook, offer to me to please me. If you do any job, offer it to me to please me. Everybody has to make a check and balance. They're doing every day's accountability on the basis whether Krishna is pleased by my work today, because I have borrowed his energy. It is not my own. I have been provided, doesn't make that I belong, the energy belongs to me. No, it is borrowed energy. The consciousness is a borrowed consciousness. We became empty-handed. Then gradually we have been given. When the desires happen, do you think it is automatically fulfilled? No. We have to work. Suppose if you are notorious, number one, do you think your father will fulfill your desires? If you keep on doing mischief, you will never get a gun. You know that? So, we have to remain obedient to the father, mother, all our elders, and that will please Lord Krishna, because ultimately we are supposed to please Krishna. Otherwise, what is our life? You may believe, but if you do not believe to please him, then do you think whatever he is giving you is worth? No. We misuse it. And that foils our game. So, Prahlad asked pure devotion. He wants to render to preach the non-believers, the atheist demon. And he remained. And his son did not become a devotee. All right? But Virochan's son, that is Prahlad's grandson, is Bali Maharaj. And he became pure devotee. So can you imagine that devotee is not a birthright? Classification of a varna and ashram is not a birthright. It never comes on the birthright. It comes on the qualifications. We deserve it, and then we get it. So, that is Prahlad's story. He asked to remain between the demons so he can preach the glories of Lord Shri Krishna and bring them, make them devotees. Remember when Prahlad was teaching his schoolmates, when in a recess or the time off, he will, when the teachers will go away, he will tell them, let's chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. They chant and dance and then make a lot of fun just to please Krishna. Yes, there was no other subject, and every time all the kids they follow, and the teachers were very obnoxious, demon teachers. They wanted you to learn. Prahlad, you have to learn politics. You have to learn economics. You have to learn. Otherwise, how can you control the material nature? Nobody can control material nature. Everybody has to become victimized of the material nature because they are not made up of material nature. Bodies are. And they are temporary. The soul is part and parcel of Krishna and eternally in relationship with him for eternal pleasure. There is no other. And if we forget, then we struggle hard in the material nature. There is no choice. So Prahlad and his grandson, you know what Bali Maharaj did? Bali Maharaj was the king of the demons, right? So demons were desirous to take over the kingdom of Indra and all the demigods. So he conquered them and made all the demigods scattered, hiding, right? So they prayed to Lord Vishnu, please save us. This Bali Maharaj is a pure soul, and how come he does to us like this? Right? Bali Maharaj had a teacher or a guru. His name is Sukracharya. but he was a materialistic guru. All right? So when the demigods prayed to Lord Vishnu, then Lord Vishnu told them, don't worry, I will come and I will cheat Balimara. A devotee who wanted to be cheated by Krishna, by Vamandev. Krishna became a shorty, a dwarf boy, about 7-year-old. And his parents were Aditi and Kashyap. So they came to serve the Lord, but the Lord told them, take me immediately to Bali Maharaj's yajna. And I want to go. I want to beg 3 spaces of land. Make 3 footsteps, 1, 2, and 3. Only that much left. Of cheating. So when Vamandev came, Bali Maharaj saw, very nice, effulgent young boy is coming, a brahmachari is coming. Yeah, how can I serve him? Because he had a devotee nature. So Bali Maharaj welcomed him, and Shukracharya was looking, who is this boy? Who is this boy? He found he is a cheater, The Lord Vishnu himself has come to cheat Bali. So, knowingly, in front of Bali's resolve, he could not win. So, Bali Maharaj welcomed Vamandev, and he washed his feet and sprinkled on his head. Then he asked, how can I fulfill your desire? I said, I need only 3 paces of land. All right? I'm a brahmachari, I don't need more. So Shukracharya said, hey, Bali, don't promise him. He's going to cheat you. Then what happened? Bali said, if you think he is Vishnu, everything belongs to Vishnu. And if he wants to take it away, let him take it away, because it belongs to him. Shukracharya, you are a fool, number 1. You will lose everything, but what about us? Where we will go? He was a materialistic guru. Materialistic guru are not spiritual gurus. He's always thinking in the matter of profit, his own safety. So Bali Maharaj said, I will give you, okay, bring your hand and I will sprinkle some water from the mandalu. So there is a nozzle. So Shukracharya trickily became small and went into the nozzle so water will not drop. Right? So Vamandev took out a kushal grass and popped in it and split open the eyes of Shukracharya. So he became blind. Oh, I'm sorry. Because he was squat. So, very nice. Shukracharya has, Bali Maharaj has a sister. Bali Maharaj had a sister. And she loved this young boy. And she wanted that if I had a child like him, it would be very nice. But the boy became so obnoxious that he splitted the eyes of Shukracharya, and he was bleeding. And Bali Maharaj disregarded and both of them. So she found, very disturbing. How come this boy is so naughty? But then he gave the 3 paces of land the first foot became so gigantic that it covered the whole, material universe. The second phase went through the virja, which is the outer covering, and it touched the toenail and split. So the water of virja started flowing. That is called Padana Khanira Janita Janapar. So Vedavyasapriya Swami is singing in the Shalka Stotra that Vamandev touched the feet so high, that the toenail licked out the water from the hand. And that is called Ganges. Washing the lotus feet of the Lord, and then went to Swargaloka. So there she is known as Swardhunya. And then the Ganges have to be brought down. So Bhagirath has to do a lot of austerity, please Lord Shiva, because Ganga was very, very proud. Swardhunya means she purifies the Swargaloka. But because there were 1,000 sons of Sadar Maharaj dead by the shrap of Kapil Muni, Jhanu Rishi. So, because they were, very puffed up and like that. So the story is that the Swargaloka, Bhagirath has to please Lord Shiva, Kailash, and then the Ganges water came. It should be tied up, because otherwise her flow will go in Patalok all the way the lower planetary system. So just to let her flow on the earth, Ganges, and so Lord Shiva was very, very powerful to tie her up in his head. Have you seen Lord Shiva's photo? Did you see a little head of a lady coming out and water is coming from her mouth? That is Ganga. Okay? So Lord Shiva tied her up. So she cannot go down to the Pataloka. So now, that is Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj gave everything within 2 spaces of land. The third was so Vamandev asked him, the young child in the form of the brahmachari, came to beg 3 paces of land. So he asked, Bali, where do I put my third foot? I asked for the third one. So Bali was perplexed. Oh, everything is gone. Where is the space? So he looked at his grandfather. He was standing by, and he said, he signaled him, your head is still remaining, So Bali said happily, my dear Lord, I have only the head remaining. Please put your third foot on my head. So Bali Maharaj, can get blessings. But Vaman, they pushed him from earth to Pataloka, the lower planetary system, and he was very pleased with Bali's sacrifice. So what happened? Bali, I'm very pleased to you. Now I want to give you benediction. Bali says, no, you are my worshipable Lord, anything, and please protect me that I may not fall into Maya. I can give up everything, but not your lotus feet. See how the devotee whose father was a demon, and the father's father was a pure devotee, and father's father, the grandfather's father was a demon. So you can see, the father may be demon, the child is devotee. The child may be devotee, but his child may not be devotee, like that. But within the family, two great distant devotees are exemplary in their childhood. Bali Maharaj was in his little adulthood when he became king, but he was a pure devotee. He is also called Mahajan. So in a family, two authorized devotees are there, Prahlad and Bali Maharaj. And they are counted amongst 12 original pure devotees. Swayambhu is Brahma, Narada Muni, Shambhu is Lord Shiva, 4 Kumaras, right? Manu, Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu, Kumar, Kapila, and Manu. Kapila is another Prajapati, Kardama Muni's son. Kardama Muni had a wife called Devahuti. She was the daughter of Manu Maharaj. So Manu Maharaj and Manu's grandson is also devotee, pure devotee. So Prahlad Janaka Bhishma, Prahlad Maharaj Janaka, and Sita's father was a pure devotee. And Bhishma Pitama is a pure devotee. Then Bali, Vyasaki means son of Vyasadeva, Sukadeva Swami, and Yamaraj. People are afraid of Yamaraj. But devotees are not afraid of Yamaraj because they are friends. Yamaraj is a pure devotee and doing the task of some punishment of others after they will die. Everybody is afraid of Yamaraj, but devotees do not afraid. There is a story in Kathopanishad about Nachiketa, the child. You know, he was also a child. And he was so young, and he was very curious to follow his father. Nachiketa's father was very, very learned Brahman, and he gets so many cows in donation, so he also gives donations, right? But Nachiketa was into it. Yeah. So one time his father was giving charity of the cows. So Nachiketa came, Father, what are you doing? He said, I'm donating cows. Oh. But still, he was not satisfied with the answer. Right? It's not simple. This boy is a gifted boy. So he asked him, Father, what are you doing? My father said, why he's asking? It's irritating me. Huh? He said, can't you see I'm donating cows? Again, the people was not satisfied by that answer. He came third time. Father, these cows are your property and you are donating. I'm also your property. Who are you going to donate to? And father became so angry that what is this child talking about? He said, I will donate you to the Yamaraj. Oh my God. See, pious activities also binds us. They do not give us liberation. Pious activities outside charity, tapasya, everything. They bind us. They want us to be happy, means happiness in the material form will bind us. It won't liberate us, even though it is a religious activity. But it is in the mode of goodness, it will bind us with a sense of knowledge. So, sukha and jnana, these are the two binding factors. So, pious activities that generally we are told to act, but that is not going to liberate us. It is also a cause of bondage. So, Nachiketa was, oh, thank you very much, my dear father. You are donating, so I will go. And so Nachiketa left. Now, Yamaraj, his location is on the southern side. So he went, and after a long time, the father finished the charity. He began to repent. Oh, what did I say? Right? I was doing charitable activity, but I lost my temper for a small child. Uh-oh. So he was repenting. What did I say to him? Then Nachiketa became so fearless that he went to Yamaraj's house. The Yamaraj is the custodian of hell. He's a pure devotee, but he is the custodian of hell. All the demigods are pure devotees, but they have been ascertained to do the functions of all the material creations. And they themselves are not the supreme. So the devatas are engaged in different services, and Yamaraj is also engaged in different services, and he does it on behalf of Krishna, and therefore he was pleasing to Krishna, and he became pure devotee, even though he was punished. Maya Durga Devi also punishes us with Adhyatmik, Adidevik, and Adibhautik. Tapatraya means three kinds of miseries. Adhyatmik means the miseries caused by our own mistakes. Adidevik means Adibhautik means by somebody else, the second, third party is giving. Even a mosquito can, right? Even corona is a third party, and it is going to punish us. So, and then the earthquakes, the big floods, then what, wars, pestilence, so much beyond the control of anyone. They are Avidaic. And they have been casted by the superintendents of Maya Devi. She is the custodian, the mother of Durga, is the mother of the material nature, not spiritual nature. But she is specifically ordained by Lord Krishna, so she is called Narayani because she is serving Krishna very faithfully. All right? Krishna, Vishnu, Vishnu Tattva, this is the same thing. But that is the supreme absolute truth that we are taught. So, Nachiketa went and knocked the door. Yamadutas, they are very fearful themselves. They saw a little child has come. So they saw the list. They cannot find the name in the list that he is supposed to come here. They says, no. The child said, I have come. My father had donated me to Yamaraj. So I cannot go back. Go and tell your master that Nachiketa has come, that he has been donated. So I am property of Yamaraj. Oh, Yamaraj said, what is this? Let me go. So Yamaraj came to Nachiketa, and Nachiketa fell at his feet. My dear Lord, my father has donated me to you. Now I am yours. And Yamaraj started teaching him about Lord Shri Krishna and how to love him. He got educated properly in all the Vedic Upanishads and everything. And he says everything is targeted to know who is the Supreme, Absolute One, from whom everything has come, and everything is maintained, and everything is dissolved back. So like that. So the children play very important role if they are Krishna conscious. Very, very important role. So that's how Nachiketa's story was there. But we have to talk about Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj, was the son of Uttanapad, and Uttanapad was son of Manu. Dhruva Maharaj's mother is called Sunita. All right? And Suniti, she's called Suniti. And Uttanapad didn't like her. So he had a second wife, Suruchi. All right? And Suruchi had a son who is younger than Dhruva. So one time the father was keeping the Uttam, the second son, or Dhruva's younger brother, father was keeping him in his lap. So Dhruva said, I want to come on the lap of my father. And Suruchi said, you can't sit on the lap of your father. Your father has rejected your mother, so he is also rejecting you. Only my son will be able to sit, and he is going to be ruler like that. So the father could not speak anything in front of the Suruchi wife. So he said, Dhruva got insulted and crying went to his mother. Suniti says, it is true, my dear, it is my fate that your father has rejected me, so you are also rejected. No, but I am supposed to be the eldest. The Dhruva was so much determined to take this revenge of the insult, and his father was speechless. So he asked my mother, tell me, how can I achieve even a bigger kingdom than my father? And I will show him. Just like, sometimes you do not agree, you are told wise words, you do not agree, and you take a vow not to give in. So how many days you can do that? When you become hungry, so you have to give up your, what do you call it? Your vows, your determination, because in front of hunger, nobody can keep the vows straight, and children cannot do that. But anyway, Dhruva was son of a king, so he had some power. So he was determined. So he asked mother, please tell me who can fulfill my desires? So the mother told, only Vishnu can. Where can I find Vishnu? Oh, Vishnu, you have to go to the jungle and do tapasya and this and that, and you have to be very strict in your I will do that, I will do that. So Dhruv left home. His mother kept worrying, but so seeing the determination of Dhruva, Narad Muni came as his spiritual master and guided him. Hey Dhruva, what are you? Oh, you want to get Lord Vishnu? Okay, you come. This is the place called Madhuvan. You go and do the austerity. And Narad Muni taught him how to do the austerity because Narad Muni also did austerity when he was child. So Narad Muni taught the same thing. So Narad Muni, after instructing him, left and Dhruva followed, accepted. So in his austerities, he stopped eating. Whatever is available, he eats leaves and do the austerity. He stopped even leaves and survived on water. And he also then stopped the water and survived only on the air. And when he wants to stop the air economy, then all the air got stopped. It will not be provided to anybody. So everyone was becoming without air. They got suffocated. Saying this, Brahma saw, and Brahma prayed to Lord Vishnu, please see this little boy, he's asking to have your audience, and because he has something in his mind that he wants it. Please grant. So Vishnu came. When Vishnu came in front of Dhruva, he was completely spellbound, could not see because the glow on Vishnu is so much captivating. The beauty of Vishnu is so much captivating. And Dhruva was very, very enlightened from him, and then could not speak because he was so much amazed seeing Lord Vishnu. He could not speak. So Lord Vishnu put his conscience on his head. You can speak now. So Dhruva started speaking, but cryingly, my dear Lord, I came to fulfill my desire and did austerity to get you, and you are the only one to get. But now I am repenting. Why? Well, I have come to fulfill your desires. Do not repent. No. I want to change my desires. Huh? Why? I asked broken glass of pieces in front of you as a diamond. You are the very diamond, very precious person that I have to offer myself to you. And I had a desire to have a bigger kingdom than my father, so I can, take revenge on my father's insult. So I have come to fulfill your desire. I do not care for other things. Then he started going. Dhruva said, my dear Lord, if you can grant me one more benediction, as a Lord, I have to accept this kingdom larger than my father's, as a called Dhruva planet, and the lifetime of Brahma is given to him. He said, I will be completely trapped in Maya. Can you please grant me benediction that even though after ruling Dhruva planet for my lifetime, I should not become victimized by Maya? And Vishnu smiled. You are a clever boy. Okay, but I will not touch you. So in this way, Dhruva ruled the polar star. You know the polar star? That is Dhruvaloka. That is his. And every star rotated around him. All the planetary systems, they go around. So you can imagine that is the Dhruva star. Dhruva means very firm. He cannot move from any place. Everyone will move around him. So that is the glory. Yeah. So Dhruva is a pure devotee. So after finishing this lifespan, it's as big as lifespan of Brahma. So Dhruva was to be taken to Vaikuntha with Lord Narayana, right? At that time, he remembered his mother. Wait a minute, I want to take my mother with me because she is the one who taught me how to fulfill my desires, how to get Vishnu. My mother is the first guru. So the Vishnu Dutas who came to get Guru in Dhruva, they thought, oh, look, that another plane. Your mother is also coming in that. So Dhruva was satisfied. So this is how a child like Dhruva, who became the devotee of Vishnu, can take your father, mother, every one of his 21 generation back home, back to Godhead and Vishnu Loka. Can you imagine? So that is the true story. You know, it is not simply that. It depends upon what are we determining, what are we thinking, what is our goal in the life. The highest goal in our life is to go back home, back to Godhead. Because we do not belong here. We have been thrown down. Now we have to go back. Right, like that. So you got Prahlad as a child, Dhruv as a child, then Narad Muni as a child. Three examples you have to become pure devotee. Children are the best devotees. But when they grow old and come into contact with modes of material nature by association, what you call peer pressure, they will turn their lives upside down. So you have to select only devotee kind of children. Otherwise, you will have so many friends and so many unnecessary connections that will change your life. Man is known by the company he keeps, right? Now, company means association. If we are taught to choose our association, then we will become like that. Prabhupada said, if you touch the hole of a plug, you will be electrocuted, right? So similarly, the association means touching. Association will make you. Why we are associated together like this? Because we get very, very strong immunity. Better than to fight corona is to fight with the three modes of material nature. Now, Otherwise, three modes of material nature are associated with three kinds of, accompaniments. Just like if a child is growing in a traditional way, where the spiritual culture is invested right from the beginning, is exposed to that, that will inculcate in him the character of a devotee. Second, if one is very enthusiastic on a what you call highly educated entrepreneurship and competitive world, that is a world of passion. The passionate nature of the world will make you like that, ambitious and thrown out of the gear. And the third, if the house that has only quarreling, that tamoguna atmosphere, then the child will become like that. So that is an utter failure. So even the Christians say the family that prays together stays together. It's not other way around. But in our Vedas, the three modes of material nature, sattva, gun, raja, gun, and tamo, they are the dictating gunas. So how, by chance or by training, in either way, if our cultivation of culture is to spiritual bent, naturally it will pave the way for further progress, and association with the sadhus fosters that, like that. So that's how our traditions have come about. It's not by belief systems, but it's a practical application, and that we should seek out the opportunity to make further progress in the spiritual life, not in religious life, spiritual. Because spirituality is the sum and substance of following the religion. And otherwise it becomes only a ritual, so, a dead ritual. So these are some important lessons that are to be inculcated right from the very beginning. Simply to believe in something is not at all important. Everybody, even aborigines, were believing in something superior. And if we keep on believing in someone, some personality, that doesn't mean, but whether this is spiritual or material, that we have to discriminate. So, na sato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate asat. Ubhayoropi drashtanta tattvadarshini. If you are seekers of the truth or reality in your life, then you have to see for the eternal. There is no cessation. And for the one which is asat, there is no endurance. Asat cannot last long. It may be present for some time, but it fades away. But Sat will last. So, Sanatan Dharma, Sanatan Sat is the prime emphasis. And what is Sanatan? The material world is not Sanatan. So, Bhutva Bhutva Praliyate, material body is not Sanatan. But the indwelling spirit we call Atma, who is the part and parcel of Paramatma. Mamaivangsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatan. Manashasthani Indriyani Prakutisthani Dashati. So there is always struggle in our psyche, body, and three level. Manasa, Vacha, Karma. So three level. Gross body, subtle mind, and spirit. There are pulls, they're pulling us apart, confusing and everything. So it is the three modes of material nature that we are supposed to conquered by practice of spiritual life. So we go beyond the mode of goodness. That is called Parasattva. And Krishna's position is Vishuddha Sattva. This is Lord Shiva tells to Parvati about how to worship Lord Shri Krishna. The Sattvam Visuddham Vasudeva Sattva. Vishuddha Sattva is the state of Vasudeva existing. So, if we are Sattvic, we follow religious principles. But how much? Well, we have to compete in the world, we have to do this, we have to do that. But then the whole life will be completely spent without tangible results. We have to stick to the culture, stick to our spiritual requirements and nurture it instead of easily giving up. The whole site of spiritual culture was hit by British. What the Mughals could not do, they did in shorter time. So why to blame now? But we have to resurrect, making it because it did not die. It did not die. And the spiritual culture has to revive itself. It is a rebellion against the demoniac nature of the material competition. All right. So, anybody has any question or comments? Smarty. No? Ask your friends. The friends, you have any questions? Why you have been dragged, brought and sit down again? You didn't like it, right? Computer games, what were we planning?
They want to say something.
Anybody has question on the Zoom? Yeah. Good.
Bali Chakravarti, even though he was a great devotee.
Who?
Bali Maharaj.
Bali Maharaj.
Even though he was a great devotee.
Yes.
Why was he pushed to pass
Because he is the head of the demons, the demon community, and he has to do the welfare activity for the demons. And demons are always at loggerheads with the demigods. Right?
Because he was head of demons.
No, that's all right. He was not himself a demon. Otherwise, how could he surrender? But at the same time, Krishna made him to fight with the devotees and demigods. Why? Because sometimes demigods are also getting puffed up. So teach them that when we encounter in the material world, there are two opposites, good and bad. If good also can make you puffed up by association of good, and bad you discard, but bad can also counteract the good. To teach either it is supplementary to it, but a devotee is tolerating both good and bad. You can't keep on rejecting bad because the origin of good and bad, the duality, is Krishna. How can you blame him? He is teaching us in Bhagavad Gita, Samo aham sarva bhuteshu na dveshti na priyosi. But ye bhajanti tum bhaktya te pikeshu chasvaham. I despise nobody or favor nobody. So whether it's a good that is all coming on my favor, don't understand that. You know, it's a karma. And I do not despise. They are all my part and parcels. A father cannot despise or make differentiation between children. He has. So the two categories, good and bad. But what about the devotees? They are beyond good and bad. The devotee is beyond good and bad. He is looking only at the pleasure of Lord Shri Krishna directly. Demigods may indirectly, because they have been empowered by Krishna to provide the welfare for all the living entities, including the demon. But the demon has opposite nature, a very quarrelsome nature, envious nature, and that's why they are mean. But Krishna says that by their karma they are casted in the lower and lower subterranean spaces. They never rise up. But sometimes Krishna allows them. There is a story of King Chitraketu. King Chitraketu was a pure devotee. He got educated along with 4 Kumaras from Lord Sankarshan. Lord Sankarshan is an expansion of Lord Vishnu in Chaturveda. Vasudeva, Sankarshan. Sankarshan has a lot of superiors like Sheshanag, Ananta Shesh, and Balaram. Balaram is the second body of Krishna. So Lord Sankarshan in Vaikuntha planet educated this Chitraketu and sent him back to rule the whole earth. All right? And enjoy. But even though in enjoyment, he will always remember Krishna. And he remained his pure devotion. But even though not getting attracted, seemingly ordinary eyes will see, oh, he is enjoying. But a devotee is not actually indulging in sense gratification. So one time he was in such a situation that he was flying in his airplane with so many ladies, companion, and he stumbled upon the scene in Naimisharanya. Lord Shiva was sitting with Parvati on her lap, on his lap, and he was discussing spirituality amongst the sages. So seeing this very precarious situation, Chitraketu laughed at Lord Shiva's precarious state of existence, that he is embracing his wife and simultaneously talking spiritually. Now understand, Chitraketu laughed, Parvati noticed. Parvati became enraged. Oh, he is insulting my husband. You're supposed to be cursed. You know? And Shivji said, Parvati does not make mistake, he's a devotee. Do not curse him. But no, Parvati has its own, and she's a custodian of all the material moods. So Chitraketu was not afraid. He came down, bowed down with Parvati. my dear mother, you are right in your position. I am also right in my position. I'm not afraid of your curse. I will obey your curse. That will not derive me my devotion to Lord Krishna. So Parvati said, yeah, you deserve to be a Rakshas. So he became such a Rakshas, formidable. His name was Vritrasur. Vritrasur has so much gigantic body and so much power that the demigods like Indra, he would not stare at him. Indra, by seeing him, got terrified and would not come out to fight with him from his palace. But Vritrasur was such a formidable person. He was chastising. Now, this is Chitraketu, the pure soul, in the form of Vritrasur, still remains the devotee. And he is doing chastisement to the demigods. The demigods went to Brahma, and Brahma went to communicate with Shiva Vishnu and said, oh my dear Lord, how can we get rid of this unwanted presence of this Rakshas? It's terrifying. So Lord Vishnu told, go to the Dechi moon and beg his bones to make Vajra out of it. Only Vajra can kill his body. As such a pure devotee accepted the body of a demon, and he was punishing the demigods like anything. And this was the remedy only. Indra was totally forgetful of this remedy. It was Vritrasur himself was teaching by fighting, teaching Indra to remember devotional service. Hey, make my day. I'm supposed to be killed by you, and you do not know how to kill me. Krishna has told you to go to Dadichi Muni, get his bones, and make Vajra out of it. Only that much power because of Dadichi Muni, I will be killed. Yes, my body will be killed. I will not be killed. Get my death. Be my best and do it. So then the demigods are sent to Dadichi Muni. Oh, Dadichi Muni, you are so great, please give us your bones. Dadichi Muni said, oh, how come you don't use your bones? It is that they are very dear to you. If you take the bones, means you have to die. I have very precious bones, and I'm attached to it. Go away. Demigod said, oh my God, how come we made some mistake or so? So again they asked, and they say, please, Krishna has told us that you are so kind to preserve the demigod's race, you will give everything. So therefore he told us that we can only make from your bones Vajra to keep this Rasha. Be polite. So they came again and they saw the devotion of Dadichi Muni. Dadichi Muni said, why didn't you told me in the first place that Krishna has told you? I would have given you right away. Okay, come and be my guest. And demigods mercilessly killed Dadichi Muni and took the bones. sanctified, gave the cremation to the rest of the body parts, but took the bones and made a vajra out of it and gave this powerful instrument in hands of Indra. And that was shown by Vrittasura. Otherwise, demigods are also forgetful. Keep center Krishna in any condition of life. Api chet suduracharo bhajate mam ananyabha sadhurev hi samantavya samyak vyavasato hi saha. Krishna tells, however abominable activity one might have performed, but if he has surrendered to me, then consider him to be sadhu. Kshipram bhavati dharma. He will soon become righteous. Swasachad nikachati. He will obtain his position back. Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranasya. Very good. You know this verse, right? What is your teacher telling? Api chet suduracharo bhajate mamananyava sadhure vahi samanatavya samyak vyavasoti saha kshepram bhavati dharmatma swasachantam nigacchati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. My devotee will never perish. Who is the devotee? The soul or the body? Yes, the soul is the body. That is our true nature. Soul is part and parcel of Krishna. And he misbehaves. Yes, it is possible. Then he gets bewilderment. But a devotee does not misbehave, so he can go back home back to body. Yeah. Pious work cannot do this job. Only pure devotional service pleasing to Krishna can rectify our mistake. Otherwise, without exception, Ichha, Dvesh, Samuthena, Dvanda Mohena Bharata, Sarva Bhutani, Sammoham, Sarveyanti Bharata. All living entities, not only human beings, but all living entities, they have come into the creation. Sarveyanti Bharata. My dear Arjuna, without any exception, all the living entities have come in the delusion of duality by a separate desire to enjoy from me and hate towards me. We despise Krishna. Or how come you are the only enjoyer? I want to be enjoyer. I don't need you. But then who will give you facilitation for enjoyment? Is your Father. He provided you. How we are born in ignorance and dying also in ignorance, to come back again and again. We can stop this cycle of repeated birth and death. That is why Bhagavad Gita has to be studied. To become a devotee. Man mana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Mame vaishyasi satyam te pratijani priyosi. You become absorbed in my thoughts. Become my devotee. Always pay obeisance to me. It means being an impersonalist. That oh, Krishna is a man. Oh, somebody else who is speaking through him, we should worship. Who the hell you are talking? Do not give such false interpretations, but impersonalists do. Some become Mayavadis. They say, I'm God. There are so many gods in the market, and people follow them blindly. Then who? The demons. They are always envious of the devotees of the Lord. Demigods are devotees, and they always interfere. So Krishna says 4 types of people do not come to me. Who are they? Namam duskritino mudha prapadyante naradhama mayaya pratajnana asuri bhagamasita. Duskritina. These are all duskritina, not good kriti. They are duskritis, means miscreants. Who are they? Mudha. Those who are fools and rascals. They don't ignore me, right? They don't come to me. Naradham. Naradham. He has been given a human body, yet he behaves like an animal. Narpashu. Lower that man. They do not come. Maya Pratajnana. Their real knowledge has been stolen by effect of Maya, 3 modes of material nature. They ignore him. And Asuri Bhavamasita, those who are of deviant nature, envious nature of Krishna, they don't care. But at the same time, Chaturvidha Bhajante Mam Janaha Supratyanaja Artha Arthati Jityasu Dhyan. Chapartar. My dear Arjun, 4 types of people come to me. And they are Sukritina. They must have done some meritorious pious activities. Right? Who are they? Those who are Artha means Dukhi. Arthati. Those who want to have some opulence in the life, they come to me. Because I'm the reservoir of all opulences. So therefore, they come to me. The third is Jityasu, inquisitive. Those who are intelligent and have inquisitiveness about knowing the reality of Krishna and about him. They are intelligent people, they also come to me. And Jnani, those who are always absorbed in the absolute truth about me, they also worship me very faithfully. And out of these 4, Jnani is Uttama, because he understood the reality and offering his services to me fully. So, like that. So, in this way, Krishna declares everything. So, studying Bhagavad Gita, he's conducting Bhagavad Gita classes. So, everything has to be, understood in a proper perspective of pure devotion. All right? Does this clarify? Good. Yeah, you will enjoy the reality. More bliss will be found, and the material bliss is wearing off. It will cheat you all the time. But this bliss is the bliss of absolute truth, will nurture you and your consciousness. Let's grow our children in that consciousness, called Krishna's consciousness, not my consciousness or your consciousness. Because we were given by Krishna, who is sitting in as Paramatma, this consciousness. Therefore, we become alive. If we don't have consciousness, that's all right. Bye-bye. Then see you in next life. Yeah. So as long as we are conscious, then we are obligated to understand the absolute truth in relationship with Krishna. Krishna is not a Hindu god. is the absolute truth. He's telling every living entity is my part and parcel. Sarvayonishu kaunteya murtayanti sampavante tasam mahatyonis aham bija pradapita. The life-giving Father is Krishna. How can he be Hindu? How can God be Christian or is a Muslim? It's a misnomer. One who is a creator is one without second. Some details may be different, but we have to come to agree. We don't have many creators, or one creator, one maintainer, and one destroyer. That is the guna of ours. They are the functionary aspect of the material world. But who is a creator? Expansions can, divide the functions, right? So functionary aspect is different from creatory aspect. The creation, sustenance and dissolution, that becomes the three aspects of the emergence of material creation. But the creator is one without second. Who does the creation? Who is responsible?
Krishna.
Which Vishnu? Number 1, number 2, or number 3? There are so many Vishnus. That will be very interesting. Next time I will tell you about it. Okay? Good. You have seen different pictures of Vishnu. One is standing, another is lying with an lotus flower coming from his navel, and the third is also lying, but there is nobody with him except even Lakshmi is not there. There are 3 Vishnus, and then they also make more Vishnus. Okay.
Guru Maharaj, there is on Zoom, they want to say something.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisance, Guru Maharaj. All glory to Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, it is 1st of August here today. Australia, New Zealand, India, and it is your Divine Appearance Day. So we all want to wish you a happy birthday, Guru Maharaj. So I'm requesting everyone to unmute themselves and open the windows. We can open their videos so we can wish Guru Maharaj with 3 Haribol for Guru Maharaj protection. Please, everybody, unmute and
remove my mask.
That's okay, Guru Maharaj.
Come here. Hare Krishna.
I request everybody.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Everybody, your hands up. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Please, everybody, put your hands up and say Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Guru Maharaj for everything. Happy birthday. Advance.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Guru Maharaj.
Guru Maharaj.
Hari Bol Guru Maharaj.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol Guru Maharaj. Hari
Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Guru
Krishna Guru
Maharaj.
Maharaj.
Jai.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
We're making some sweets for you, Guru Maharaj. So we'll see.
Very, very happy birthday, Guru Maharaj.
Jai.
Happy birthday. Happy to see you, Guru Maharaj.
Nalini want to wish you.
Wish you more cakes to cut and candles to blow, Guru Maharaj.
How many cakes you made?
Plenty. Sorry, Guru Maharaj. Pandemic here, Guru Maharaj. Lockdown.
Okay.
We'll make lockdown cake. Okay, Guru Maharaj.
It's
Hare
okay.
Krishna.
This is the second lockdown.
Yes.
Yes.
In Melbourne, 4th Guru Maharaj.
Lots of lockdowns.
Official, unofficial. You are simply cake eaters. You get my excuse. All right.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Birthday.
Please. Blessings.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah?
Thank you, Amrish Maharaj Prabhu.
Thank you.
Okay, Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Maharaj.
We close the meeting.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Krishna.
Thank you.